Hi, Greta. My name is Mary Ellen, and I do a lot of teaching of art, teaching of drawing in the schools. And when I go to the schools to talk about art, all the way from kindergarten all the way to fifth grade, and everybody in between, I like to talk to students about how their brain works because it really helps them with their drawings. And when I talk about their brain, I bring somebody along to help us learn about how our brain works. And to do that, I bring along somebody named Sally. Okay, so I'm going to bring in Sally, and she's going to help us learn about how our brain works. Okay, you ready for this? This is Sally. Okay, she's a foam head. But the important thing that Sally helps us with is the fact that we can draw on her head, and we can talk about the two sides of our brain, because inside of our head, our brain has a left side and it has a right side. And it's almost like having two different computers in our head because they both do different kind of jobs. They both can solve problems differently. They control different parts of our bodies. And they all kind of have their own little character. It's almost like two personalities. Okay. So the left side of our brain is the side of our brain we use in school most of the time. So when we have to learn things like math and science, we have to learn the names of things like presidents and rivers and states and countries and all those different kind of things. The left side of our brain is really good at learning those kind of things. The right side of our brain is the more creative side of our brain. It's the side that we use for art and for theater, if we're going to be in a play, sometimes for creating things, sometimes when we have to write a paper or come up with something in a creative way, the right side is really good at doing that. Okay. The left side of our brain is also the side of our brain that likes to keep track of time, like hurry up, we gotta hurry, we gotta go faster, and it just likes to do a zoom thing. Okay. The right side of our brain, when we're working on something using this creative side, time can pass really slowly. All of a sudden we look at the clock and maybe an hour is gone, and so it doesn't like to keep track of time quite so much. Okay. The left side of our brain can remember tons of information. So when your teachers teach you things all the way from kindergarten all up, you're remembering all those different things they've taught you. And the left side can remember a lot of those facts, those things that we learn about in science and math and social studies and all those things. Okay, but it can't remember very well exactly how things look. So if we look at a picture of like a cat and we say, okay, we'd like you to draw a cat, the left side of our brain says, oh, I don't remember what cat's legs look like, so we might just draw these little zoomy shapes like that for the cat's leg. If we want to use the right side of our brain for a drawing, like most artists do, and we want it to look really accurate for what cats really look like, we don't rely on our memory. Okay, we don't rely on our memory to say, oh, I know what cat's legs look like. Most artists go to look at a real cat, and they'll look at a real cat lying down, or they'll look at a picture of a cat or whatever it is they're drawing, or a tree or a car or a shoe or whatever it is. They'll go look at a picture of it so they can see what it really looks like instead of trying to rely on their memory. Sometimes when we draw, the left side says, oh, we don't have to remember all those details, let's just draw something super simple. And the right side says, whoa, wait a minute, that's not what it looks like. Let's go find a picture to see what it really looks like. And then we learn a lot. We learn a lot about flowers or animals or trees or even people's faces. Whatever we want to draw, we learn a lot by really looking super close at these things. Now, the other thing that you need to know is that the left side of our brain, for most of us, it's where the talking happens. That's where the talking is controlled. And so the left side, because we use it in school a lot and because it can cause us to talk, it gets to thinking it's the boss because it gets to do everything and be in charge all the time. The right side of our brain is a quiet side of our brain. It doesn't make us talk, but it can do all kinds of things. It can help us solve problems, it can help us think of answers, and it can help us come up with ideas. The thing is, if this side of our brain comes up with an idea that we have to say out loud, this side can't say it out loud. Instead, it has to send a message across this connecting place, and then the left side will say the answer. So the two sides of our brain work together super well. They have this connecting place so that they can always send messages back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Okay. So what you're going to find is when you start working on a drawing, you're going to start getting involved in it. Time is going to pass really quickly. You're not even going to think about how long it's taking you, and it'll be very quiet. you'll find that if you're talking, you're using the left side of your brain, which isn't really the creative side, and then you stop using that side. So you'll find out when you're really being creative, you'll just won't feel like talking, and you'll be so absorbed in your work that it'll just be quiet, and you won't find the need to talk. Then when you're done with your drawing, the left side can be boss again. Now what happens is sometimes when we're working on a drawing, we might start feeling like, oh, this is taking too long. I'm tired. I'm bored. I wish I should draw something else. I don't want to do this anymore. And if you feel like that, that means that's the left side of your brain trying really hard to get you to stop using the right side. Because remember, it wants to be the boss. It likes to be the boss. So if you're drawing and you start hearing those whiny words in your head that say, oh, this is too long, this is taking too long, I want to do something easier, I'm thirsty, I'm tired, I'm hungry. And if all those whiny words you hear them in your head, that's just the left side of your brain just whining because it wants to be boss again. So if you hear those whiny words in your head, you just have to say, oh, left side, just take a break. You can be boss again when we're done with our drawing. And just take a little breath and calm that side of your brain down. And then when you calm that down, you can start working again with the right side of your brain. And then once you're done with your drawing, you'll automatically start using the left side again. But artists have to calm that side of their brain down and say, oh, I'm not going to listen to those whiny words. And we just focus on our drawing. Sometimes it means taking a little bit of a deep breath, and sometimes it means just kind of maybe covering up your eyes for a minute to kind of rest and then get started again. Okay, and so that's kind of how artists work on their drawings. So this was Sally. So I want to say goodbye to Sally. Usually she comes to visit students once and then they don't see her again until the following year. So I hope this helped you think about your drawings again in a little bit of a different way.